I am Michael. That is Reggie. Say hi, Reggie.
Hi, Reggie.
Dating While Adulting podcast. That's what this is. This is another episode of Ask a Woman, and our resident woman Nicole is here. And um, we went through three other episodes, and this is one. Me, okay, I put it like this: me and Reggie have been having this debate about chemistry, whether we believe in it, what does it mean to us, and whether we should put any stock in it. Reggie wanted to present this topic during the Ask a Woman episode so we can get a woman's perspective. So I guess she can break the tie. So um, I am not a believer in chemistry. There's no secret about that in podcasts where Reggie references it. I always shut it down because I think it's ridiculous. And Reggie always teases an episode of it and I always shoot that down. But now I guess I have acquiesced and we are now doing an episode on chemistry.
From a
So,
woman's point of view,
huh?
from a woman's point of view,
Okay.
that can actually articulate it. Because I think your issue is the fact that you have women who could not articulate the actual phenomenon, but what chemistry actually is.
See, here's the thing that's interesting to me when you talk about getting a woman's point of view. You are the same one that says that women don't know themselves and women don't know how to articulate their feelings and all of this stuff, but yet you want a woman to articulate the meaning of chemistry, which is something that isn't explainable, which is my issue with it.
But at the same time, at the beginning of the thing, you said Nikki Nick has been with us for the last 4 episodes. So have assessed the fact that she can articulate these emotions versus other women who were not able to put those abstract forms into words.
So
You like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good.
So since we have a woman here and Reggie is like,
No, we don't have a woman. We have Nikki Nick there. I don't
Yeah.
trust women. I like Nikki Nick though.
I think
She's happy to be a woman.
I think that she would agree that she's a woman. So
Well, no, she's more than a woman. She's doing all that more than a woman. But I'm just saying, but she's more than a woman. Just saying, she's more than a woman. All that Aaliyah, who I had a crush on. Oh God.
can I just say that saying that she's more than a woman is kind of like in the movie Do the Right Thing, where Spike Lee was talking to the racist kid and he was like, you hate black people, but you like Michael Jordan. And he was like, well, he's not black. He's more than black. It's like saying that she's more than a woman is demeaning women and saying that she's not a woman because women ain't shit.
Whatever, because Aaliyah said more than a woman, more than a woman, more than a lover. I be that. Aaliyah said that, and that chick is fine.
Yeah, and obviously you don't know the rest of the lyrics to that song. What the song is about.
But it doesn't matter because the simple fact they did say something about putting a baby in the closet. That shit was kind of disturbing. But back on topic. Back on topic.
The point is, and I guess I shouldn't since we have a woman, I shouldn't go on my soapbox defending the woman.
Because you're getting ready. Yes, yep.
You can do that for herself. But first and foremost, Nick, you're a woman, so I'm assuming you believe in chemistry. You believe in chemistry?
Yes.
Okay, what is chemistry to you?
Chemistry to me is when I'm around someone and it's not difficult for us to be around each other. We just get along. We just get one another. And
it's just a vibe.
Chemistry is also, yes, what people say vibe is nowadays. It's also when you just met a person and you don't feel like you just met them. You feel like you've been knowing them. That's not correct grammar. But
well, you know them for a long time and you just met them. You just have this thing. It's this body memory thing.
Okay. So what happens to get you to that point? To that feeling, or however you want to describe it?
I can have chemistry, or I have had chemistry on the first date with a person.
Okay. So what led to that chemistry being developed?
Conversation.
Was it conversation?
Yes. Not sex. It's everything outside of sex. Chemistry.
Or the attraction, the physical attraction. Because Michael thinks it's a physical attraction thing that leads to that chemistry.
Well, no, it's not physical. So yes, so then that would include sex and attraction. It's not physical. For me, it's mental and emotional. That's what chemistry is.
So have you had chemistry with somebody that you're not attracted to?
Ooh, that's a good question, Michael. No, good question. Good question.
Foundation of what I've said, and I've told you that, Reggie.
But I think it's this. For me, I actually had chemistry with people I was not physically attracted to.
Yes. I just thought of someone. Yes.
Like I said, I've had chemistry. I had mad chemistry with someone I was not physically attracted to.
Right.
Okay, so woman, um, so you've had chemistry with someone that you're not attracted to. Did you date that guy?
I did, but it didn't go on, but it had nothing to do with the physical and it had nothing to do with our chemistry while we stopped dating.
Okay,
Better
so
preach.
It had to do with my standards, and or my expectations, I should say, my expectations
Preach.
of
Preach.
what a potential relationship was going to be, and he wasn't living up to that.
Mm-hmm.
So although we got along great,
Mm-hmm.
and but I wasn't physically attracted to him. Um, it wasn't that I was unattracted to him. There was just that
But
physically
you,
did nothing for me.
it's
The
like you weren't that. Ugh, God, Jesus Christ, you walk
correct.
in. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would have been solely on the chemistry. That's where the
Mm-hmm.
attraction based from. It was on our chemistry. Not that he was
Exactly.
unattractive. He had to be attractive, of course, but there was aspects of him physically that were unattractive to
It
me.
wasn't that disco inferno attraction. Like I want to rape you every time I see you,
Nah.
type of shit. Like I said, and which sometimes it can be very volatile, very volatile. The fact that you have that chemistry and that sexual attraction,
Oh
because
yeah.
we're just totally different, two totally different processes. And like, oh my Jesus, and you really get don't going down the railroad track with the wrong person. And
Uh,
you see, I'm just preaching, preach girl,
yeah.
preach girl.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna understand these processes.
That's definitely been
Mm-hmm.
a situation ship
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm. I've had a couple of them.
here's the thing, and this goes back to a couple of podcasts, one in particular, because I listened to it again last night, the conversation that me and Reggie had about sex and what was good sex. My thing is that for I beat Reggie up for 45 minutes trying to get him to give a tangible explanation of what bad sex was from a man's perspective, and he could not give me one.
Well, it's going to be different from one man to the next, right?
Well, I was talking about just
Him?
his, but because
Okay.
in my thing with this chemistry, it's the same thing. I am like, okay, explain his chemistry thing to me, and he'll pull out books and he'll talk about it's a disco inferno. But when talking to someone who has no concept of what that is, they be like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
And see, that's what I'm saying. If I can't put a finger on it,
Right.
then I will not acknowledge
Did
it.
you understand my explanation?
No. And because here's my thing.
But it's a body. Like I said, this is a body. Like I said, this is the aspect of the body memory thing that you don't. Everything that you know,
Conscious. You're not conscious.
you just so analytical and always conscious about everything else. 95% of our process that we do, you breathing, you shitting, you doing all kind of stuff, is an automatic process that's already body. It's body memory. Your body does take in information that you don't even know what the fuck's going on. Your consciousness is at most 10% of your whole existence and your awareness on this fucking
Hey,
planet.
that little bit.
I'm just saying. I mean, no, I'm being generous. Actually, it's not that. It's not that even much.
Okay, here's my thing when it comes to this chemistry thing.
He's the card.
When I talk to people about chemistry, I don't know what that is. When I talk to people about chemistry and I ask a bunch of questions, what it comes down to is you met, not you, but whoever
Right.
it is, you met someone and you had a conversation with them and you found that the way that they speak appeals to you. And then to go deeper, you found that there are things that you had in common with that person. And because you were able to have a conversation with this person, you'll go back and say, oh, I had great chemistry with this person. When basically what it comes down to is you had a conversation with somebody and you found that y'all had something in common.
See, but my thing is this.
And you add attraction to it.
But see, this my thing is this. Going back to what I said before, there's so much subconscious information being passed back and forth that you're constantly not aware of. The reason why people can sit there and Nicole sit there and said it. I can come to you, and the minute you say hello, and maybe some people, if they're more aware of their spiritual space, as soon as you walk into that space and that energy level, you're like, oh shit, this feels familiar. And you
Yeah.
you may not even know who he is. You don't know this guy's name yet.
Right. And
Outside the
I put
fact
my
that it's
finger on
like,
it. But that's what it is.
okay,
It's a
but
level
you can
of familiarity that you're experiencing, but you know you shouldn't be experiencing it because you don't know this person.
you don't know this guy. You don't know this guy from Adam or this chick from Adam. But it's like, okay, this
So
feels
why does
familiar.
it feel so familiar? Why does it feel so comfortable? Why does it feel like I've been here before? Why does it feel okay? Why does it feel safe? Why does
Is that safe? It's a great word. And even before you open your mouth to say, hey, how
yes,
you doing? And
yes.
so then your conscious mind pops in like, okay, who are you? And why do I feel this way? So then you start asking
Right.
questions. But, and
And 99.9% of the time, that is tied to how good a person looks to you.
So you think
no,
that chemistry is definitely linked to attraction.
I think it's attraction combined with common interests and where you are in your life in terms of um, being open to dating or something like that.
see, I disagree because I
I'm
can have
thinking, yeah,
chemistry
because
with
I'm thinking
guys.
the person that I have in mind.
Hold up. I have chemistry with guys and I ain't trying to fuck them. So that's why I always dispute what he's saying.
Mm,
You have chemistry with chicks.
well, yeah, because I can meet a girl and we're trying to see if we're gonna be friends. And no, yeah, versus you meet one and you feel like you've known them forever. Same thing, and then you meet another one. It's like, yeah, no.
Exactly.
And then and like they say, we feel like we've been friends forever, but we
Whatever.
met each other. So I guess
Yes.
chemistry isn't really a
Gender type, opposite gender
yes,
type of thing.
yeah,
'Cause there's
yeah.
there's not a lot of guys, but there's guys. Hell, Mike, you. But like, well, fuck. I'm a little crazy, as most people have figured that out now. And the fact that we've been together for 30 years, and for if people just doing the analytical aspect of this situation, they would sit there and be like, why is these motherfuckers friends for 30 years? Like, yeah, these motherfuckers just
No
polar
lie,
opposite.
no
They
lie.
polar opposite. But
Well,
there's this chemistry that we had even when we first met. It was like, you're cool. I didn't know who the fuck you were.
we didn't. We didn't have a any kind of chemistry when we first met. We were kind of like, even though we had a class together and stuff like that, we weren't cool when we had that class together. We became cool through a mutual friend who was friends with you and who was friends with me after I transferred to the school, and he kind of put us together, and we were just in the same circle. And over the years, that dude fell to the wayside, but we just like kind of like learned to understand and accept each other for who we
But you
were.
didn't have to.
Exactly. No, we didn't have to learn to
So
understand each other because you went to
why do
Ohio
you think
State.
that happened? Why do you think that happened? Once a mutual friend was out of the picture, why do you think y'all became close?
Because we were already friends at that point when dude fell out of the picture.
But did y'all become closer once dude fell out of the picture?
Um, well, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
No, I disagree.
You feel like it was from the onset.
When we actually, because like I said, he was in my class in the typing class with Miss Facing. Ooh, Miss Facing. Anyway,
And see, that's not even when we first met. And that's
he,
Oh, so he don't even remember
no.
when y'all first
So he's
met.
talking about chemistry, and that's not when we first met.
no. When we actually, I mean, no,
wasn't in typing class with you.
Reggie.
Duna was in. Okay, Duna was in the type of class with me.
See,
Okay.
so he's talking about chemistry when we met.
No. When we first met, because we met through Dooney. So that's how my whole story goes.
No, we first met we had a computer programming class, and you and Christy Betts, when I came into the class, because I transferred to the school like late. And you and Christy Betts were in the class, and y'all knew each other, but
I remember that.
y'all didn't really speak to me.
I remember that.
You didn't really speak to me until that mutual friend
Doing it.
worked together with him.
So he was stuck up.
I wouldn't say that. It's just like, shoot, he was doing his thing, was doing my thing. But that doesn't speak to any kind of chemistry, even when we got along. And I don't think that when you get along with someone and you have a good relationship with someone, you can call it chemistry. And I guess I don't reject the term chemistry so much as I reject this whole nebulous thing.
Okay. You don't like that.
Just like everything else, I think you can like point to specific things that make that up, and you call those things chemistry.
Well, my thing is this: everything, as Shakespeare said, I'm going to butcher the quote here. There's more things in heaven and earth that we can actually understand from Horatio, Shakespeare. we're being of a human consciousness, we don't know everything that's out there, and there's a lot of information from our ancients that we have lost or been destroyed or whatever that doesn't give us a point of view, particularly in this Western civilization that we're in right now with half the information, that everything isn't as analytical as we want it to be. Trust me, I understand that analytical Spock thing. I trust me, it
I
serves
appreciate it.
it serves me very well to be just analytical and throw feelings out. But as I've gotten older and understand the balance of the fact that, yes, we like to sit there and say the masculine and feminine aspect of human beings
Mm-hmm.
as they want to define it, um, I cannot just throw away the intuitive aspects of what humans are, because before we had this concept of language and speech,
That's what we were using.
we had to understand. Yeah, exactly. We had to understand.
How you feel about that?
We had to have the intuitive aspect. Is this motherfucker gonna shake me as soon as I turn back? And you ain't gonna sit there. You're not talking. We weren't talking to each other. It was body language and all this other stuff.
Right.
That's why I keep saying the body memory. We have lost that art because we don't have to
How you feel about
use it as much. But even still, it's still in us.
Here's the hypocrisy in Reggie,
Oh,
and it's almost like it goes like to no, and it goes to like a greater crusade that I have in dating. The issue that I had, one of the biggest issues I have in dating, and Reggie has discussed this as well in past episodes of the podcast. The thing that we hate most is when a woman does something, we ask them why they do it, and they say, I don't know. So then to come back for something that is like acceptable to him, and he can say I don't know to something. I think it's hypocritical because
no, I'm not saying
why can't they know why they feel a certain way, but you can. When I talk to what chemistry is, you're like, well, there are certain things you just don't know because the physical and the emotional and the
no. I know. If you sit there and say, so why did you get this? Why did you get with this chick? Why do you feel this vibe with this chick? And I said, well, it's chemistry. What about this chemistry? Because I felt safe. I felt secure. I felt that she wasn't going to shake me in the back as soon as I turned my head around. I could do all these things.
It's just nothing.
What do you mean it's nothing?
This is nothing. What was it about chemistry? I felt security. Okay, what does that mean? It's like everything that you're saying.
I felt that I can trust her, even though I did not even know who she was at that particular time. I got this feeling, this body feeling that I can trust this woman just because. And I can't explain it right now, but as I get more information, I will be able to articulate it.
But you don't believe that exists.
No, it doesn't exist because okay, as you get more information, then I'll be able to explain it. He's got more information about other people, and he still can't explain it. And so, but if he asks a woman a question and she says, I don't know, he'll jump down her throat for that, as he said in past podcasts.
No, I'm not saying that, because trust me, I'm not gonna sit there and say, okay, Reggie, why did you go 150 miles per hour on your birthday? Because I wanted to see how fast his car went. And trust me, I had the feeling, I was like, I think I want to do this. And the feeling came up, I want to do this. Like, okay, why you want to do this? Because it's stupid. Because that shit will be fun. Feel it. Okay.
It feels good.
It feels good. It feels good. And now granted, before I even did it, because I never went that fast before in my life, it was like, okay, if you get caught, particularly in Arkansas,
right, but we ain't worrying about all that.
But it's like
just worried about the fact that it feels good. So that attests to another part of that I'm backing. That when you meet that person, it feels
good.
Yeah, way better than, and you can't really explain why.
Because you can go to a talk. It's like having a conversation with someone.
Okay, so I want to ask Mike. Have you never met someone and you're just like, gosh, she's so cool, but I can't put my finger on it? I'm just gonna use the word cool.
No.
Thank you.
Because when I met that woman, she was cool based on the conversation that we had. It's like the way that you all talk about it is like, I can stand next to you and not have a conversation with you, but I just feel something about you. And we'll walk away and go our separate ways. And I'll be like, I met a woman. Well, I actually didn't meet her because we didn't say two words to each other, but I felt something. No, there's a conversation that I can point to specifically that led to me thinking that she was cool. So I can't put my finger on it.
So
And I
you've
think
never felt that? I felt that. Like,
what just standing next to somebody?
mm,
If they
Yeah.
were fine, I felt a lot of things.
No. And no, actually, like I said, I have to agree with Nikki. I've been around people and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
okay. And not saying a word to them, like, oh. It's like, I watch a lot of anime. And it's what we call chi, right? And all the anime fans. It's like I can feel your chi.
Man, that watch the show.
Of course not, loser. But I can feel your chi. You can feel my
Okay.
chi. Is that spiritual aura that you have. Some people more attuned to it than not. And the bottom line is, I'm gonna just put it like this: Michael isn't attuned to that aspect. He's not attuned to that aura.
Right.
So he wants everything to be analytical and
Which is cool because
which
that
is
makes
cool.
him heighten in that area, whereas someone like me is not, or like you is not.
Well, no, because I balanced. My thing is balanced because that's the part where he said they call me a hypocrite. That's the part where you call me a hypocrite because I'm balanced. I can flow. I can flow with water. Like Bruce Lee said, I can flow like water.
No, because that's the whole thing. That's the hypocrisy because it's like when it's convenient for him to flow, he can flow. But again, going back to past podcasts, if a
not hypocrisy, I have to tell it.
When a woman is flowing, and no, that didn't sound right. But when a woman, when a woman is flowing,
I get canceled.
Like she doesn't know herself. She's not introspective. She doesn't even know why. And
because she does. No, not to be a hypocrite. Because
in all cases, or it doesn't apply in all cases.
No, it doesn't. It's not.
So that's how he's gonna think.
Yeah, for him, it's a black and white thing. I live in grays, and for him, it's like, okay, it has to be one or the other, black and white. When I sit there and criticize women, it's like they're on the other side of the black and white spectrum.
Okay, so what gets on your nerves, Reggie, when a woman doesn't know period to nothing, or doesn't know to whatever it is that she's trying to debate about? What is it about the not knowing that has you bullying them?
Okay, let me say this. My wife want to sit there and go buy some red bottom shoes. I said, so why do you buy the red bottom shoes? I don't know.
Oh, okay. No. So when a woman says that, I'm not speaking for your wife. I'm just speaking for
I'll just put her out there because I can't say somebody.
When a woman says we don't know, because I started to say this, but I didn't want to interrupt someone earlier. When we don't say I don't know, that means that we don't feel like arguing.
Thank you. Tell them that again.
When a woman says I do not know to a man, she doesn't feel like arguing.
But she knows.
Never not know.
Okay.
But she never not know.
You never not know. You never not know.
Never not know.
We always know. And this proves my point. In the same way that a woman can say, I don't know, but you say she always knows, I can say that bullshit y'all talking about chemistry where you talk about, I don't know, I just feel something. You always know. Yes. If you really put your mind to it, you can point to specific things that you saw in that person that made you feel closer to that person, not some kind of just random feeling. So in the same way she knows, but she says, I don't know, you can say chemistry, but it's something that you know, but you just don't want to speak to it because it's just easier to dismiss it as
chemistry. No. Because this is the thing, this is the aspect about it. There's sometimes, like I said before, you can walk to someone before they even open their mouth and you have this aura. And you don't know, but as soon as they open their mouth, you're like, "Oh, that's what it was." And I keep trying to get you to understand. Before we became masters of the language, which we're really not, because there's still certain biological responses that we can't articulate with words, but it's body language, and we see body language and stuff like that our body just automatically attunes to, like an antenna.
There is not a human being that has stood next to another human being that they weren't attracted to and said, I just feel an aura from this person.
You can't say that. That's just you.
I think I mean it when I said that happened to me. It was like the guy wasn't overly attractive. I'm not saying that I'm overly attractive, just saying that it wasn't that. It was just something about him.
But my thing is this. I'm not doing gender at all.
Right. You're not.
I'm not doing gender at all. And like I said, I can be around someone and realize I don't want to be around you. And they didn't open their damn mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, that sounds like some stuff like I have a person in my life that I know, and she's a woman, and she's just like she just randomly dislikes people for no reason. She'll just be like, I don't like her. Why not? I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about her.
And that's what people say: bad feelings, hunches,
That's
instinct, shit like that. Now,
bullshit,
granted,
bullshit.
Oh, okay.
but like I said, this is the part where he always catches me because I cannot completely disagree with him on that.
Oh, absolutely not.
But at the same time, there are instances where I know he's wrong, but overall, the majority doing percentages, he's right. He's right. So I get what he's saying. But like I said, going back before, he's so black and white, binary, 0 or 1. I'm like, no, life doesn't work that way. You know, using the quantum aspect of this situation, there's no such thing as ones and zeros. Quantum is you could electron or that particle be in two different places at the same time. Fucks up your head. It's the duality of what shit is. Also with the Tao, duality, chaos, order, and all that bullshit. So there are things in this universe that we just don't understand. We have to accept it. We are not that. We are like God, but we're not God. Because our consciousness have not evolved that way. But how the hell did we get here? Anyway, moving on.
Romance.
Romance.
Oh, okay.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he said.
I said, especially since you don't believe in God.
I don't believe in your God.
Reggie and Nick got into a conversation, and we figured we like spend the next 17 minutes or so like getting into the debate, whatever you want to call it, about romance. Reggie is a believer that men are more romantic than women. I actually tend to agree with Reggie on this one.
For once.
Right. And woman, I assume.
Wait, where's your club? Woman. Bam.
Yeah. And so, woman, I believe that you disagree with that.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to backpedal, but what I am saying is if you guys are romantic, how come you don't show it?
Whoa, what do you mean we don't show it?
My experience.
How so?
Meaning I have to tell a man, so these are the things that I consider romantic.
There we go. Now, see, this is the list. These are the things I consider romantic, who presented by Hallmark and the Disney Channel.
And normally that's the reply that I get. But when I say, listen, it's not a deal breaker, but it will help you, especially in time of difficulty. So you may want to take notes.
As I sat there and said, presented to you by Hallmark and the Disney Channel, because their version of romance have always been catered by what society said was romantical, because you're supposed to do these things on Valentine's Day, and you're supposed to do these things on anniversaries and blah, blah, versus some guys could sit there every once in a while like, yo.
Just because I'm going to send this to you.
Exactly.
What I find to be interesting is that...
and not the flowers and all the other bullshit that y'all accustomed or expect to have.
Just like that, I disagree with Reggie now. What I find interesting is that woman over here started to talk about what romance meant to her, and you cut her off and basically started shitting on what she thought was romantic before she even had a chance to articulate what was romantic. And so it's like, and then you were like, romantic to you, and it's like, yeah, to her.
That's what I'm
talking about.
That's why I'm a bully. God damn it.
Right. But you're not making any sense. You're not proving your point.
Because
I don't care.
What you're trying to say is that just because gifts is what makes it romantic. Whew.
Okay.
The Valentine's Day, your birthday, the anniversaries, that's not romantic because I'm expecting flowers. I'm expecting whatever I'm expecting for my birthday.
Reggie's point was, and I'm sorry,
but wait a minute. Are you talking for me now? Would you
Reggie,
thought we talking about Nicole?
no, I'm going to quote you. Reggie's point was men are more romantic than women.
Right.
And he has done nothing to explain how men are more romantic than women. All he did was shoot down what a woman's idea of romance is, but he hadn't explained how men are more romantic than women.
Right.
Well, I can explain this, but it's simple fact that for the most part, who's the ones always giving the gifts? Who's always trying to do the
Oh
scenarios of,
no. Oh no, we're
oh,
not
really?
oh no, we're not gonna do that.
Oh, let's do this. Because I may be wrong. It may be my experience. I may be wrong. Let's get into it.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, let's get rumble.
Women, I definitely, that was one thing that I always got commended on in my relationships is I definitely just because gifts all the time. And for your birthday, you get a birthday gift with purpose. I'm not just gonna buy you a sweater. You better get a birthday, something that you want that you would not buy for yourself for whatever reason, whether or not you're just not going to spend that much money on yourself. Or like I hear guys say, oh, I got Jordans and I don't really even wear Jordans, but that's what she bought me for my birthday. I would never do that unless that's what that.
Okay, because I have situations, both people that I know where I'm glad we have this conversation because you being the outlier here, you actually listen that me and Michael talked about earlier in conversations and podcasts. You actually listen to what the man actually wanted and desired. And you said that and you fed into that versus how some women would sit there and I want to buy you Jordans, even though you sit there and said, I don't really wear Jordans because you want to see them in Jordans. You know, because for the most part, men, not all, but a lot of men, men in the beginning, we're gonna do what we need to do to get the draws. So we're gonna sit there, do the picnics and all that bullshit, which goes back to another podcast. Don't do shit that you ain't gonna continue to do. But we're gonna sit there, go on the Ferris wheels. We're gonna sit there, go take you to Chris. We're gonna sit there and do picnics. We're gonna sit there and do a boat ride on the Potomac and all that bullshit. Because we're trying to impress you.
So
Potomac is
so again, the person who's just said that we're going to do all of these things for you to try to get draws is the same one who's arguing that men are more romantic.
Yes, because at the same
person who just spent like 4 minutes talking about gifts to give is the one talking about being romantic.
I didn't say necessarily gifts because men don't really do the gifts like that per se. And for the most part, men.
You said.
Okay, well, how about
why are men giving
Reggie,
all the gifts?
Reggie, give us an example of being romantic. Let's say something you did in a past relationship, not even, currently, something you did in a past relationship that was romantic for a girlfriend.
He didn't beat a woman on a Tuesday.
Mike.
That's one thing.
Basically,
let me do a scenario.
Because I got an example on the ready, Reggie.
My scenario is this. Let's say because let's say my wife is a bookaphobe. So on a Wednesday, I say you need to take off. I say why? Just take off. So I leave the little clues around the thing, and on I'd say maybe downtown. This is before the whole Trump thing happens, and we go to our favorite little book nook, and I have our favorite books out there with tea and music and shit like that, and it's just on a random fucking Wednesday. Nice. Just because that's what you want to do. I want to see you smile. And it's not even about the ass. Because I already got the ass.
Right.
I just want to see you. I just want to shit. You like that?
Example.
That's cool.
Very good example.
So let me ask you this though. That's a good thing, but do you think that's reflective of all men? Since you said men are more romantic, you think other dudes in general are doing that?
Yeah, because I think for the most part, I think that most good men actually who want to be in a relationship, I say good men, they're always trying to make sure they impress their wife. Because that happy wife, happy life bullshit that we talked about. So
it's not bullshit.
See?
I think that's bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
See? Therefore, they are going to be more romantical because they're always seeking the approval to make sure they are validated by the things they give to their wives, regardless of whatever.
A woman will not validate you if you are always seeking her approval. The right woman. The right
woman, yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
No, the right woman, of course. The right woman, of course. I'm not going to dispute that at all.
The reason I keep trying to
hammer me because he hates me.
No, redirect this thing is because we talked about this in one of the podcasts. I don't do on the New Year's podcast. I don't do gifts.
Don't
I
do
don't
gifts.
give gifts. I don't care to receive gifts. On holidays, on a random Tuesday is cool, but like during holidays, I'm not
Oh,
with that.
okay.
Gifts in general in the five love languages is like very low. It's like it's
You go,
five
Michael.
things. It's like number 10 on the list.
And I
So
wonder
so
why Mike is single.
so I
No,
don't
no, go. You no, you go,
no,
Michael, with
no,
that five love
no.
languages. Go.
So I don't define romance as giving gifts. So that's
Exactly.
why.
That's
And,
amazing.
and then when you talk to Reggie, when you listen to Reggie talk about what he did for his wife, which is great. I don't know any guy, and I know a lot of guys that don't do that.
That's why I cussed.
They're decent dude. They're decent dudes, and they take care of what needs to be taken
But they are
care of.
not
They're
romantic.
decent dudes, but yeah, they don't do stuff like that.
A damn
But
thing.
see, okay, but that I guess that goes with our circle because I do know a lot of guys who are married who do that. So
Right.
I guess it's a perspective thing in the circle.
Well,
I need to move.
if there's a disagreement, that's why woman's on the show, because woman's personal experiences is not guys telling you or telling me what they do for women. Woman is
Woman point of
here
view.
telling
Right.
us that men
What
aren't doing that
Men
for
do.
her.
Obviously coworkers, my friends, family, everybody. I don't hear this. I don't hear
Now,
this.
I think all of this is kind of BS when the topic is brought up, because a person has to individually define what romance is to them, and that's where I would
True.
like
True.
is to
True.
you.
But
And,
we're gonna get 45 minutes out of that.
like what I think, no, we will not. What I think romance is, I'm not getting from a woman. So on one side, I can say women aren't romantic, but what you described, Reggie, I don't know, men, and a woman has said that. I'm just calling you women now.
Exactly. You know.
Woman isn't
Woman.
getting that, so it seems almost to me like it's a wash. I really
It
don't,
is.
because women will do shit that they say is romantic. They'll deem it romantic, but it's not romantic to me. It's not romantic to Reggie. You'll say, men ain't doing anything, so it's nothing for you to
Or
deem
otherwise.
romantic. So if you're doing something that I don't care about, that's not romantic to me.
Okay.
So you're not romantic.
Okay.
If
But
men aren't doing anything, then they're not romantic. So I don't think anybody's romantic.
But
I
see,
think it's
that's
a
the-
wash.
But no, that's the problem. That's the reason why I brought up the topic, because it's simple fact we can talk about it for 45 minutes and you get to that conclusion, because realistically, I agree exactly what you said, but we won't get 45 minutes out of that.
One quick question.
We got 3 minutes. Make it a long
If
one.
a guy if a guy brings flowers to a first date, what was his thought process in doing that? And now we've first.
He thinks that that is what's going to impress you, because that's what he's been conditioned to think.
Okay.
Yeah, and these days you can buy flowers for like $10.
Exactly. So it's
Right.
ring
But
there.
I'm looking at as the thought,
It's a good thought.
not the cost. The thought.
Yeah.
it's not necessarily
Genuine.
it's generic.
Why is it not genuine?
No, it's genuine, but it's generic.
I'm asking.
It is generic.
It's generic, but it's genuine, but it's generic.
Okay. So does that mean that he likes me? Does that mean he buys flowers for every first date? That what?
And like I said, that's the part that makes it generic, because you don't know. If he was to actually sit there and study you enough to figure out what is that, and let's put it this way, to get a little bit more specific. If he sat there and studied what kind of flowers you like,
Yeah, I had
then
one guy do that,
and then it's like, oh shit.
and he didn't buy what I want.
But
what I
yeah,
like.
but if he just brought roses, it's generic, because that's what he thinks is going to.
On a first date, when he doesn't know anything about her,
He
just
asked me.
just the fact that he thought of you at all to bring something.
Right. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
not
not gonna say amazing, but it's
like
nice.
or anything.
Well, what
It's nice.
I get, it's nice. I give
It's
a lot
nice.
of
I ain't gonna
credit.
say
What it is,
amazing.
I feel like I'm giving too much credit for that. to that.
Yes,
And
but don't shit on it. But don't shit on it. But don't shit on it. But you give
Okay.
it too much credit. There's a
Okay.
fine line.
When you say too much credit, I don't think it's like a sign that that's the dude you need to marry, but I think appropriate credit is due.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Don't, like I said, give it the right. Don't. She's saying she's giving too much credit to, because if he was to sit there and actually say, okay, I like birds of paradise as a fucking flower,
Oh, I was gonna say, okay.
Right.
and he brings on the first date birds of paradise, like, oh, this motherfucker's actually listening to me. He sees me. Versus I'm just bringing you flowers, which is still a genuine act, but it's generic. But versus birds of paradise, then you put that shit on a different level. Like, oh,
Yeah, but if
you're
he
paying
doesn't,
attention.
if he doesn't know, then
I would love to talk about those 2 dates.
yeah, it's you don't know. Cause shoot, I can't say I've ever taken a gift to
Flowers.
any kind of gift to a first
First
date.
date.
No, I never have.
Yeah, so just the
Why
fact
not?
I'm talking about two in the yeah, Reggie, answer that in the next minute that we have.
Well, when I'm dating, I don't know. I never did. It's
Yeah,
not important.
Okay.
yeah, I just don't see the
Okay.
point.
I don't like it like that.
You don't know me.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know you.
Okay.
You don't deserve flowers. You don't deserve anything.
Even with the chemistry, I don't know you like that.
All right. Boy, it seems like we covered a lot in this session. Reggie, you got anything in closing?
Nah.
A woman?
I think woman wants to come back. She got that look on her face.
Huh?
Woman had look like woman has like, oh, I have this list.
Yeah, it goes on.
Like I said,
It goes on.
on and on and on and on and on.
It goes on.
All right. Thanks for showing up, dating while adulting. Hit my music, kick it, as they say.
Kick it.
Yeah. And yeah, the music's playing. We don't need help, Reggie.
You need help, baby.
Say
Oh,
goodbye.
I forgot. Goodbye, Reggie.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.